Our guest has released 11 albums and is the author of 3 critically acclaimed books. 15 of her songs, 15, have become top 10 radio singles on the Canadian pop and U.S. Christian charts. 2 Dove Awards, 9 Covenant Awards, 3 Juno Nominations, West Coast Music Awards Songwriter of the Year. These all belong to Carolyn Arends. It is so great to have her here to make our Christmas extra special. Come on, Carolyn, right here. We have a few minutes to chat before more music. And it's so good you come all the way from Surrey, BC.
I have. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
On all of this.
Well, that was a very kind introduction. I'm pretty sure my mom sent you those notes. I appreciate you sharing them. Yes,
host of the Covenant Awards a year ago.
That's right.
You're just one of our shining stars.
Oh,
and I love they described your new album, by the way. This is number 11. Christmas, the Story of Stories. Rootsy, playful, thoughtful, and alive with wonder. I agreed with every word. You've had fun writing so much of this original
really
with you.
Yeah. There's been a tradition at my church. It started more than 20 years ago, my home church in Coquitlam. I don't know, maybe 23, 24 years ago, the pastor said, hey, could you write us a new song for our Christmas Eve service this year? And I thought, well, that'll be a good challenge. Take a fresh look at Advent and the nativity scene. And so I wrote a song and it seemed to go quite well. And the next year he said, hey, that was great last year. Will you write another song? And oh, sure. And then before I knew it, it was a tradition, which is a lot of fun, although 20 years later, sometimes it's a bit of a stressful tradition, but it's been a really neat practice.
We want to thank that pastor because that has something to do with a blessing like this. Now, we've just heard the story in your song. Yeah, that is the Christmas story. It's the biblical account.
Yeah.
And in every one of these songs, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I've got the liner notes here, that the message of Christmas, Jesus, is part of every song. Even the one, Rich Mullins has one in here, about early mornings. We can all identify, that special Christmas morning as children.
That's right.
Getting up at a ridiculous hour. But it all points to the babe in the manger.
Yeah, I mean, the original story is an inexhaustible story. I think that's what has been the great challenge of having to write a new song every year, is you realize you need to scratch the surface of how incredible this is, that the God who holds everything together puts his power into the form of a baby. It's incredible. So it's neat where they come from. The song that I just did, A Long Way to Go, came last year. I didn't have my Christmas song yet, and it was getting close to Christmas Eve. And I had a concert in Appleton, Wisconsin. And due to a flight mix-up, it was like, I felt like it was about 14 flights to get there. And so somewhere in this long journey, starting in Vancouver, ending up in Wisconsin, I started saying to myself, this is I'm happy to do this concert, but this is a long way to go for this concert. And then that phrase started echoing in my head, and I thought, wow, speaking of long ways to go, think about a girl who's 9 months pregnant on a donkey, having to travel for a government census. Think about wise men traveling for 2 years to see this baby little royal guy. Think about the journey that God made to get to us. And so I started writing the song on the plane, sort of mumbling to myself. I'm sure the other people on the plane thought I was crazy. And the first time I ever sang it out loud was at the concert that night. So it's neat where the story takes you.
Everything.
He really does.
And who's your fellow musician?
That is Spencer Capier. And he has been, we've been playing music together for also more than about 20 years. He plays with a lot of other musicians, really talented guy and a good friend, kind of like a brother.
Wonderful sound coming up very shortly now.
Yes.
I want to congratulate you too, as well as being a very busy musician, wife, mother of a 16-year-old son, 13-year-old daughter.
Yes.
You are in the zone.
We are in the zone. Fortunately, they're great kids, but we are in the teenage zone for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
You've been, there's been a little gap in the music.
That's right.
You've been earning a master's degree.
Yeah. I had a chance to go to Regent College and do a Master's of Arts in theology. My career had kind of been morphing where I was doing a lot of music, but also a lot of speaking and teaching. And I thought, man, if those are the doors that are going to open, I need to enrich the soil here and see what God can grow in it. So it's been a really amazing journey to just take some time to study the big story. And I think that's why this album ended up being called The Story of Stories, because when you start to kind of zoom in and zoom out, you realize we're not just running around on this planet, and the universe isn't just kind of spinning around till it spins out. There is a story to the universe, and it's going somewhere.
And I really appreciated the song Christmas Magic, Christmas 2014. I don't know if it's that Christmas for you. I had one years ago where world events just left me struggling with joy to the world. The title was like fingernails on a chalkboard. It just seemed inappropriate against a backdrop of just so many tragic things. And you write, don't be ashamed to hang dollar store tinsel. There is great worth in reflecting the light. Don't you agree we could all use some twinkle? Now is the time to be merry and bright. Everything's better when we come together. So let's make sure mistletoe is hung. Because friends, the whole reason we need this season is to help us remember joy can still come to a world often troubled and tragic. So bring on the old Christmas magic. I love that encouragement.
Oh,
No matter what's going on around, the hope is alive.
It is.
And his name is Jesus.
Yes, yes.
And now you're going to sing the title song, Story of Stories.
Yeah, we're part of this epic story, and the hinge point of the story where it all turns is this moment where God comes down here and he says, this is how much I love you, in the form of a babe, and it is a great plot twist in the story.
I will let you.
All right.
Don't like
I'll
to.
go
We could
sing
talk
it.
for a long time.
We
but
could.
Thank you for coming all
Thank
this
you.
way.
Thanks, it's great.
Have a
to be here.
wonderful Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you. And I want to quote Billboard Magazine called Carolyn Arends one of the most affecting communicators in any genre. You can look forward to poignant glimpses into the greatest story ever told on her Christmas CD, available at our e-store.